welcome. This is a very special edition of Dishin with the Delco Duo because it is my co-anchor's birthday.
Yay!
Holla.
Thank you for this lovely, almost gone cake.
Well, we got cake and then everybody had, because there's actually a lot of birthdays at PHL
In April.
So this was a birthday month cake.
A birthday month cake. Well, I can't wait to eat it. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Episode 5.
5.
Wow.
It's not every day that, like, you know, we only tape this once a week that it falls exactly on your birthday.
It was meant to be.
It was. And it's not every day that you're working on your birthday. Why do you work on your birthday?
Well, I'm off tomorrow, and I think that is almost better. Because
Yes.
you can celebrate. You don't have to wake up really early for the morning show.
But you can celebrate tonight.
Yeah, you can celebrate
get down.
tonight. And it's kind of fun to go to work on your birthday for things like this.
Yeah. So this is, we won't say where it's from because a little bit of a backstory. The cake where we got it from, our boss said, "Can you write happy birthday on it?" And like, some kid in the bakery just wrote happy birthday, like chicken scratch.
It was literally this big. It was super tiny, but it smells delicious.
It's good cake. It's just, you know, you think you hand it to those bakeries and they're going to do it. But if you're going to like a grocery store bakery, you got to believe that the person behind there has not been trained properly.
Right. It's just something they've picked up maybe.
Like if you want it really nice, you got to go to like a special bake shop where they have like artistes.
Well, it was delicious. And I think I got the word happy. And I know it's really far away, so you won't be able to see it. But I
think that's like good luck.
It is good luck. And you have to eat cake on your birthday, my mom says, or you won't have a lucky year. So cake on your birthday, always.
And this year is a big one because you're getting married.
Getting married.
You'll be a Mrs. You know, my first birthday with my husband, he forgot it. The first year.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. Like, how do you forget my birthday? It's July 2nd, like the easiest birthday.
Oh my gosh, that's an issue in itself to bring up. Of course, we're going to be talking about all of your issues that you submitted for this week, and we have some good ones. But speaking
hopefully
of,
Kate does a better job.
I hope so. That's really sad.
He already did. He sent a nice message.
We were talking about like birthdays and families, and my family. I'm going to take another bite because it's really good.
You've been waiting. I had too many Jelly Bellies today, so I'm not feeling so hot.
National Jelly Bean Day. Monica's been eating them throughout the whole show this morning.
They're just sugar. And
This makes your teeth tingle. It's that kind of icing.
yeah.
Anyway, so we're talking about birthdays. My sisters and I, we all share a birthday week.
This is so impressive.
Which is crazy in itself. So my oldest sister is April 20th. I'm the 22nd. My middle sister is the 26th. So every year, it's an issue of who's celebrating with their friends on what day.
Right.
When we were kids, it was always everyone gathered together. It's one big birthday party. Easy.
Really?
Easy. Because we were young enough that we didn't really have our own like big separate groups of friends. Like my mom would invite the cousins and aunts and uncles, and it would just be easy.
That's so fun.
We started to get older, and now it's always, well, I want to go out with my friends on this day, and we're going to do this. So we actually had a little bit of an issue this year.
Was this the first year with an issue, or do you think it's been building?
It's been, we've had issues many years before.
Yeah.
But it always happens that like on my 25th birthday, my oldest sister was turning 30. So we're 5 years apart.
So every milestone.
Is like hers is bigger than mine. I was 25, a quarter of a century.
That's a big one.
It's a big deal. But she was 30, so that's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
So 25, that was an issue. This year, I'm 27. My middle sister is 30.
Right.
So I had plans already on a Saturday to go to a winery with just a group of an outside activity, a group with my friends. Well, that same Saturday, we were having a birthday dinner for her. So that was a big issue. Had to change the times around, make sure that we'd be home in time for her. So every year for my birthday, I'm like, come on.
No one, I mean, you celebrate your birthday on your birthday, but in reality, the big thing is the weekend. So it's like you guys are constantly sharing that weekend. But I do feel like for your next big one, you're 30, your sister's 35, you need to tell her to step down. 35 doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal, and you need to do like a booze cruise or something, which is what I did for my 30th.
That's what you did. Yeah, it sounds like you have some recommendations from that. I feel like I've heard about this 30th booze cruise more than any event in your life.
Yes, and I absolutely loved it, and I'm already planning for my 40th to once again do a booze cruise because, you know, every 10 years.
Well, that's a long ways away. But yeah. So that was my issue just with the birthday week. It's just craziness. It's like you can't please everyone. My mom's like, well, where do you want to go? I don't know what you want to do. So tip of advice, don't have your kids all on the same week.
I think your parents should have done better planning than that.
She's like, I'm sorry I had you on this day. Like,
I'm sorry. Everybody's thinking it. Your parents were very fertile 1 month of the year.
everybody's thinking it. Just Monica's thinking it. Just Monica's thinking
You
it.
have to think of it that way. They're very fertile this 1 month, and then they had girls.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
For that. I'm really happy with that imagery. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yes, so that's why we have the cake on the table today.
Yeah.
We got a lot to get to though.
Yeah, we
We
do.
got some serious issues this week.
Okay, I was given, so Jen and I are each sent different issues from people, and we appreciate our viewers and everybody sending us, because this is how the show works. So without your guys' submissions, we got nothing. But the first one I put on there is someone who submitted it onto my Facebook as a direct message. So obviously you remain anonymous. And I put it on there, and Jenna goes, "Whoa, this is too serious." And I was like,
It's very serious.
and I said, "Listen, this is what we do. We do some fun ones. We do our own problems. But if you have a serious problem,
We'll do it too.
yeah, we can't, pick which ones we like better."
Well, we do all of them. So if you submit one and you're listening or you're watching and you're like, hey, I didn't hear mine, it'll come at some
Yes.
point. We'll cycle it at some point. It might be a week later. It might be 2 weeks later. But don't worry. Your issue will see the light and we will talk about it.
Yeah.
So should we start, Monica?
Yes. This is Larry from Lansdowne. How to deal with a breakup where your significant other cheated for 6 months, and then the hook to this is they have a 2-year-old, which makes everything 50 times more difficult just because
Right.
you're involving a poor child in this breakup.
So there's a lot of questions here, of course, as
Sure.
with some issues as far as, backstory to this and kind of as a relationship, as a couple, what they were like. So I'm wondering, it's sounding like they broke up because of the cheating that went on for 6 months.
Yes.
But I feel like whoever was allowing that cheating to happen was for the sake of the 2-year-old. Like, I don't know if they knew their significant other was cheating and they were just like, let's try to work this out because we have a 2-year-old, or if they found out and then called it quits.
So this was submitted to me. They did not know about it for the 6 months that it was happening.
didn't know.
They did not know
So they found out that it was 6 months of
that
cheating.
it had been happening for 6 months at the end. And so, okay, I have like an odd thing, and I don't think cheating is right in any way, but sometimes you can work through a cheating situation. I don't always think cheating is
the end all be all.
or the breakup. 6 months of it, I'd have to say, yeah, that seems like the person started a relationship, clearly didn't value your relationship. I think that like that one mistake, like one night mistake, and the person feels bad about it, to me isn't like a deal breaker. It's like, oh, you made a mistake, you really stink, you're gonna be in trouble and in the doghouse for a while, but I still really love you. I'm going to work this. We got to work through this.
We're very different.
That's
a
you're
deal
telling me
breaker.
one night.
One night, I don't care if it was 5 seconds. I don't care. That is a deal breaker for me, at least. You break all trust. And then every single time your significant other is out somewhere or like they're not answering their phone, what are they doing? They did this before. I can't deal with that. So
in Sex and the City, when Miranda and Steve are, and he did it once. He's
remember that this is not real life Sex in the City.
Okay.
Larry has real problems.
Larry
from
does have real
Lansdowne.
problems. We'll get to that. Did you think they should have gotten back together?
Well, they were an
I love their
interesting
storyline.
couple because at the end of the day, didn't they end up getting back together?
They did. They met each other on the bridge.
Right, exactly. And that's magical and that's happy, but they separated for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if you're going to separate for a while and then come back to it, that's a different story than just being like, sweep it under the rug. Okay, that's fine. It's one little mistake. Like, that's the biggest mistake you can make in a relationship.
Ugh.
That is the biggest thing that you can do that just ruins a relationship.
Yeah.
I can't believe you feel this way.
Oh, I've always felt this way. I just think, and obviously I don't think that's a free pass for Eugene. He knows that it would be harsh consequences that he doesn't even want to deal with. But I think if, me considering Josephine,
Right.
a one night thing, it's like, we got to work through it. We have way too much on the line.
Well, yes.
To just.
That's when you throw children into the mix.
Yeah.
I don't have any children of my own yet, so my opinion might be different. It changes everything.
Right.
Now,
The 6 months.
the 6 months, that is a long time to be. Is it one affair? Did you have multiple different people that they were cheating on you with?
Right. The multiple, it's kind of just like, it seems like they just went on a bender. But the 6 months, if it was one person, they had a relationship.
Well, that's why I'm saying I almost feel like if the 6 months was one person, that's a little bit easier to recover from than if it was multiple different people.
Right.
But my biggest tip here would be you got to work through this for the child. If you're not going to be together, that's fine.
Right.
But you got to figure out a way to co-parent this 2-year-old because it's not the 2-year-old's fault that all of this is happening.
And I think co-parenting can be, in the beginning it might be a little hostile because, again, that was horrible what they put you through and what they did. But with a 2-year-old involved, you guys just have to learn to co-parent and be respectful to each other. Because at one point there was love. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you just got to kind of find that you don't have to find the love again, but the like and the respect again.
I'm wondering, do they live together? Are they in separate houses? Because that also
they broke up, so they definitely can't be living in the same house. Well, who knows?
So, because then you're moving the 2-year-old from her home or his home, and this whole thing is just messy.
Yeah, but just remember there was love there once. You guys got to find the respect again, and do it for the 2-year-old.
And be like Steve and Miranda. Maybe take some time because they had a kid, right? They had a kid.
They did, Brady.
Yeah, and they had the kid when he was cheating, right?
Yeah. He that's what I'm saying. He only cheated once.
Okay.
And it was just a weird. That was like a random thing that they threw into the movie. He had.
They got to spice it up with another plot line.
Yeah,
they got to keep it entertaining.
And I loved it because remember they went to the therapist and she's like, I don't think I can ever trust you again. And he's like, I don't think I can trust you again either. You were horrible to me or something. You were mean or whatever. And then the therapist said, if you guys can work through this, show up on the bridge at the same
Right,
time.
and that was a magical moment.
Oh, I thought that was beautiful. And I was glad that they both showed up because,
I think
they worked through it.
therapy also is a good option, but it's expensive. Some people are not going to be willing to be like, I'm not going to sit here and pay to tell you my problems. But
when I could just have the Delco Duo do it for me.
Exactly. This is free therapy, people. Free therapy. I think that they should separate. They clearly need a separation right now.
Yeah.
But keep it civil.
I think that's a really good idea. Just because you're broken up doesn't mean counseling or some type of therapy couldn't help you guys. Because again, with the 2-year-old, you still need to have a relationship. Get a therapist in there to help you guys manage through the obstacles.
That's tough, Larry. That
Feel for you, bud.
That's what I said. That's a serious one. I mean, last week we were talking about birds pooping on cars, and this week we're so versatile. We're talking about co-parenting.
Yes, co-parenting.
Dishin with the Delco Duo is growing up every episode.
Aww,
right before your eyes. All right, topic 2. We have Deborah from Drexel Hill. When my roommates leave too many lights on in the daytime.
I lived with a roommate for, throughout my college years. And you think having a roommate is fun. And then you move in on your own. And you have your first apartment just sold by yourself. It's amazing. It's the best feeling in the entire world. And I know a lot of people have to live with roommates. It's, financially, you just have to bring somebody else into the picture.
Right.
But when you can finally be on your own and manage your own apartment, manage your own house, it's heaven.
And you don't have to come home and have the small talk. How was your day? Or, I lived with roommates for a while. And there was one roommate that she kind of took one of our close friends' spots. And we didn't know her that well. It wasn't like a random girl. We just, mutual friends had suggested she was looking for a spot. It was always so awkward. We had nothing to talk about. We had nothing in common, really. And it was just like walking on eggshells around a person you live with.
Miserable.
It's not fun.
Especially because you probably got along with everybody else.
Right.
So then it was like...
It was just a weird situation, and I couldn't be happier to be out of that.
Yeah.
But as far as leaving lights on, I am guilty of... I'm a light person. If it's bright sunshine, no.
Right.
But 3, 4 o'clock when, the sun has moved directions and it's not in the certain... our kitchen area is one of the spots where it'll get a little bit darker in the afternoon. I'll turn all the lights on. And my mom is a very no lights type of person. So like
Yeah.
whenever I would go home on like a Friday or just to go see her, I'd go in at like 5 or 6 o'clock and the entire house would be pitch black.
Dark.
And all you can see is like the blue TV of like if she's watching like a show or something.
No. I gotta.
And I'm like, what are you doing in here?
Yeah.
Turn some lights on.
Eugene's all about turning lights off, and I'm like, I'm living here. I like to have some lights on. Our house isn't even that big, so let's just leave some of the lights on. It adds a little, it makes you feel better that you're not living in the dark. But, and you have to remember, as a roommate, yes, your roommate's doing something irritating. Leaving the lights on is not that big of a deal, I don't think,
Well,
compared to what else they could be doing.
Your electricity bill is. Now, if you're getting this electricity bill in and Pico's charging you hundreds of dollars because you're using all of the lights, but I feel like it can't be that significant of an increase in a bill.
Yeah. I mean, every so often say, oh, you forgot to turn the light off. Remind them. But I don't think you should make a huge deal of this because you're probably annoying as a roommate in some way. If you want to open the floodgates for them to just come at you with what they get annoyed with, oh my gosh, they could come back with some, you stomp around too much, you eat weird. And, and then all of a sudden, it's if you want to complain about one thing, then they're able to complain about something.
If there's anything that I learned from living with roommates, it's don't leave Post-it notes. You know when roommates will leave like a Post-it note next to the light switch?
Yes.
Turn me off. Wash dishes.
Don't do that?
Don't do that. I did
okay.
that. I used to do that. I was the Post-it leaver.
And did you get in trouble for it?
And people do not respond to that well.
Well, yeah, no one wants to be parented when they're finally
It's
independently
annoying,
living.
But if I need to remind you,
Yeah.
if you're leaving your dirty dishes and they're overflowing the sink now, I've texted you, I've told you in person, now I'm going to leave a bright pink Post-it note right in your face.
That's how I feel. I feel bad because I don't want to diminish, like, Deborah, you're probably irritated with this, but just some of the things you heard, like Jenna complaining about, leaving dirty dishes in the sink, that's so gross. Don't do that. And then there's so many other things. I think the lights on isn't that big of a deal. I used to, and this is what I'm saying, like, I wasn't even that fun of a roommate to live with, I'm sure, so I wouldn't go to anybody and tell them to live better because I left when I lived in the same room as someone, I would leave my drawers open all the time. So, like, I'd take like a I don't know, Jenna.
Oh my gosh.
And
you just leave it open.
Just leave them open. Like, I would open a drawer and just never shut it. And so my roommate...
That is
and like
the problem.
I always got up earlier than she did because I had earlier classes. So then she would wake up in the morning and like bump into all these drawers. And finally she's like, shut your drawers.
Yes.
And
did you do it or did
I
you
do, but like
leave them open?
I guess I don't like the sound of them shutting because I realize
This could be a whole episode in itself.
I realize
bizarre.
Even now I always shut my drawers, but I always leave like a little bit open. I guess I don't like the sound of it hitting, so I leave a little open. All my drawers are like
I don't even know
quarter-inch open.
What to say. That is one of the weirdest things I've learned about you since working with you for a couple of years now.
Drawer phobia.
Drawer phobia. Okay.
Yes. So you used to leave Post-its. I used to leave my drawers open.
I'm still thinking about how you don't like the sound. It sounds like do you leave like your kitchen drawers open? Like
No, the kitchen, because those are like those automatic shuts, like that soft shut thing.
Do you not like to close doors either?
Not really. No, if I could, I'd leave all my doors open. I mean, really, that's how
Monica's front door's open. Just
let some natural light and air in.
Just go on over and walk right in.
Yeah.
No, to bring it back to Deborah, I think that if you're home, I'm picturing like a Parent Trap situation where remember when they're in the cabin and they're flicking the lights. Did you not see Parent Trap?
No, I've seen Parent Trap but so long ago, and
they're in the isolation cabin.
Yes.
And one of the twins wants the light on and the other one wants it off, and they're going back and forth.
Yes.
And that's what I'm picturing in Deborah's house. So my best advice would be just say, please, can you please not turn the lights on in the daytime?
Right. And then after that, maybe not make a huge deal of it. Once you've said something.
Right. And if your roommate leaves the room and the light's on, turn it off.
Right.
Just turn it off.
Right. That's
but
not that hard.
But if they're sitting in there, don't turn it off because then
they're living.
Yes. Because then that's awkward.
They're living there.
But totally agree. If it's bright sunshine, you don't need the lights.
No.
If it's not, I like lights.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lights person.
All right, topic number 3, Rick from Ridley. He sent this to me and said, oh man, the car line gets on my nerves. And I said, can you expand on that? Because
There's a lot of different ways that a car line can get on your nerves.
And he said specifically, parents that get out of their car, walk their kids to the school door, giving them hugs and kisses.
So the point of a car line is to be efficient.
Yes, you are supposed to just pull around and, let off your student, and then they go into school. You say bye, you give them...
So these parents are leaving their doors open, getting out of the car line, walking to the school door.
Right, or sometimes they'll even park. I've heard of people, parking kind of close to the car line. So I think that they might be getting out of the car line way, but still just walking their kids into school when it should just be a quick, smooth drop-off.
I'm hoping that they're definitely not putting their car in park in the car line.
Right,
If I'm a parent and I'm running late to work, you best believe that I'm going to run your car over.
Baseball bat to the car windshield.
Carrie Underwood, Slugger, Louisville Slugger to both headlights. Yeah. Because that is obnoxious. It also depends on the age, though. What is the age of this car line? Are they teeny tiny little kids?
I didn't ask him to expand on his expansion.
Please expand again.
Please expand again. What school is this?
When you send us stuff, the more details, the better. Because a lot of the times I feel like we still have questions. But if you don't want to disclose a lot, that's fine too.
He said along the lines, it's just it's so irritating. Why do some parents bring their kids into school and some just drop them off via car? You know what I mean? And I kind of agree with him. I think it's hovering and overbearing parents. But at the same time, if you have the time to do it, why not let your kid just have the best start to the day?
Right. I think it's sweet to give your kid a hug and a kiss, but
it's a lot.
So I didn't have a car line when I was in grade school. Mm-hmm. We had the buses went in the front of the school, and there was a big parking lot in the back where you parked, and if you were taking the car, I forget what they called it. It was you were either a bus rider or a car rider.
Yeah.
And you would come out back, and the cars would be parked already. Your parents would give you a big hug, and you'd get in the car. So there was never a moving car line.
Ooh.
Now I have experienced the car line because I went with my sister to pick up her daughter from school, and they have a car line. And the way they do it is the cars move, but then they have 4 cones, and when it's your car's turn, you go and you pull up to this cone, and you stop at this cone.
Yeah.
Now, Avery is only 5, so obviously they need more direction.
Right.
If the kid's older, send them to school. Get out of the car. You don't.
So does
need
your
hug.
sister ever get out of the car?
No, she does not.
Exactly. I that's why I'm saying I think with Rick from Ridley, and he's irritated with the parents who are getting out of their car. And I don't even think it's the fact that it's causing a traffic. It wasn't that indicated to me.
It felt to me that this is slowing my morning or my afternoon
I think
down.
he's just irritated with the parents because it's again, can you not just get your kid out of the car and they can be independent, you know what I mean, and walk to school? Or walk into the school. Why do you have to hold their hand into the school? It just seems like a lot. And in life, you're not going to be able to hold their hand. In life.
That's true. That is profound and a little depressing at the same time to be but I could see I don't have kids, but when Josephine goes to school, what are you going to be all right, peace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You get out of the car, go ahead.
And you're not going to get out.
No. And then car line to pick them up, same thing. Walk to my car. Get in.
There's a difference in dropping them off and picking them up. You're picking them up to bring them home, hug them at home.
Yes.
You're leaving them for school. You're not going to see them for X amount of hours. I don't know. I have so many feelings on this. I feel like I can see both sides of it.
Well, I think, at this point, it's really what the school allows because some schools don't even allow that whatsoever.
They run a tight ship.
Yes, they do. That's how my school was. It was you had 2 ways of getting to and from school: bus or car line, or walking. All right, that's 3. Walking is a teacher walked you to the end of the road our school was on, and then every kid just kind of ran after that. But the car line was pick up, drop off, parents not allowed in and out of the car.
Okay, so I was going to say for your parents, did they never, because they weren't allowed?
No, they were not allowed.
Well, then I think this is a school policy for sure.
It's a school policy, so if the school allows the parents to walk them in, then you kind of just gotta. But I guess this is the whole. We have no advice for you, Rick, just validation. I can see why you get irritated.
Yeah, it can be annoying.
And the hugs and kisses, I'll see you in 5 hours.
Okay, so we started off with I guess I gave an issue earlier in the show when I was talking about our birthday weeks and trying to coordinate. So we're going to end, Monica, with something that you have to bring to the table.
I do.
All I see here is food substitute. What does that mean?
Substitute. So
that's all we have written, food substitute.
This was last night, and a lot of our issues come from the kitchen. Because Eugene
hates your cooking.
Eugene hates my cooking.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of his either, okay?
You don't like to cook, so it's not like it's offending you.
I think that's the thing is I don't like the time it takes for even Eugene to cook. I'd rather be doing anything else. Let's enjoy our lives. Why are we cooking? And he's like, I enjoy this. I'm like, I don't. We're taking up time. The kitchen kind of smells right now, and I really wish it wouldn't smell.
Well, also, you're more sensitive to that right now. Being pregnant, so your sense of smell is like heightened,
and it's miserable. And then he's cooking like, all these smoky things, and it's just making me nauseous. And I'm like, I want to get out of this kitchen. I really can't stand cooking right now. But we do HelloFresh, and HelloFresh comes with all of the ingredients, which is really, really nice.
Yeah. Down to like a pinch of salt, it will send you.
Well, that's the thing.
Oh.
No.
Those
are the 3 things they don't send: salt, pepper, and sugar.
Okay.
So everything else they send, I mean, it's amazing. It really is. Packaged great. You understand exactly what to do.
Yep.
Except they'll say season it with salt or pepper, or sometimes add a little sugar.
Okay.
And we are in the midst of packing right now because we are moving this weekend. So we literally have nothing in the house. Nothing.
If I was moving this weekend, everything would be takeout. I'm not dirty in the kitchen. We're taking out all week.
I tried, Jenna. He's like, no, I'll just order like 3 HelloFreshes. So here we are.
Let's make an hour meal.
Yes, exactly.
It takes a while.
With our single spatula and single pot. And let's try and make this work. So in the ingredient, we had a stir fry last night, and they had soy sauce. And they just said, add a little sugar to the soy sauce. Well, we don't have any sugar in the house. So he uses what he thinks is a sugar substitute, and it's confection sugar. Like the pastry.
For baking?
Yes, for baking and like pastries.
Okay.
And he puts that in soy sauce. The confection sugar.
I can't picture what that would taste like. What happened to it? Did it
It tasted
thick up?
No, it just tasted like soy sauce with confection sugar. It tasted like soy sauce with like a croissant. It was just
So it was sweet soy sauce.
It was like a sweet / salty soy sauce.
Like a Peep soy sauce.
There was like no mixing of the 2 flavors together. It was just very distinct. Someone had put confection sugar in her soy sauce.
So you got into an argument over the confection sugar soy sauce.
Yeah, I just said, just don't use that. Just don't use the sugar. We'll be fine with just the soy sauce. And he's like, all right, I'm trying here. And I said, I know you're trying, but now our dinner's ruined. And this has been...
Because soy sauce is basically the main part of a stir
Yeah,
fry.
it flavors the rice. And so I was like, oh my goodness. And yeah, it just the whole rest of the dinner. And then he put the rice in when the rice didn't need to go in. So then we had to take the rice back out of the pot. And
it just sounds like a hot mess.
And Joe is staring at us. Joe is staring at us. Well, she already had dinner. I make her a separate dinner. She's not going to eat our HelloFresh.
I was going to say, I can't picture a 2-year-old
eating stir fry.
Enjoying it. So, I don't even know I feel like for me, I don't enjoy cooking necessarily. Yeah. So if it was me, I would have just gone straight soy sauce, and I don't think you would have been able to taste the difference.
You don't have to, but he believes he's Bobby Flay reincarnated.
There's something about getting in little arguments, making dinner that ruins dinner.
Yes.
Then you're like, I don't even want to sit with you, and I don't want to eat this.
This is so not even worth it. That's like how I felt after. I was like, this HelloFresh. Not HelloFresh, because it's not their fault. This dinner just was not worth it, and I'm tired, and let's package this up. I'll eat it tomorrow.
So advice, don't use confection sugar in place of normal sugar, which I didn't even know sugar and soy sauce was something that went together.
Yeah, that's why I was like, this is silly. Don't worry about it. We can just eat as is. So anyway, that was my little drama.
Your little drama laugh.
We laughed last night after it. I was like, oh, I have so much to talk about at Dishin with the Delco Duo. Thanks for giving me all the content I need, Eugene.
Thank you, Eugene, for making a massive soy sauce mistake. All right, so that was episode 5.
Yep.
Continue to send us.
Happy birthday, Jenna.
Thank you.
And Earth Day.
Continue to send us your problems, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, email, whichever way you'd like to do it.
Tips@phl17.com is an email. And then everybody has remained anonymous. I think sometimes your gender has remained anonymous.
Have a good one.